Elena Chapman. It is so good to see you here. Hey, Angular. Hello, hello, hello. All right, we are doing a wonderful little mystical muse today. And I am so happy for anyone who joins and who's here because you're going to learn how to tap into your intuition, and we're going to tap into our intuition. And what are the benefits of that? What is the intuition really, right? And how does that help us to control our anxiety and actually have it disappear? Isn't that cool? Because when you have that intuition, you don't need the anxiety, and the anxiety actually counteracts the intuition, right? So, we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I want to let you know this wonderful Mystical Muse is a show that helps you in your spiritual journey. It helps you to grow. It helps you to take a look at yourself and say, okay, how can I get rid of the things I need to get rid of so that I can ascend even further and further? And that is what it's all about, isn't it? So, today, we will get started, and I'm Elena Chapman. I think most of you know me. I am a shaman practitioner and also a healer of souls. And what I do is I help you to ascend easier, and I help you to grow, and I help you to get rid of all that stuff in your life that is causing you boredom, unhappiness, toxicity, depression. Okay, those things need to go. So that's what I do. And I help you to gain a life living by your soul, hearing your soul, and hearing divinity. That's what I do. So if you want to check out more, go to elenachapman.com. We got a lot of new little subscriptions. Hey, by the way, check out the subscriptions because there are wonderful little subscriptions with channeling, which I'm going to do some today, by the way, if you didn't know that. I think it's best to get the intuition from the source. And I usually channel from my email list, and I channel everything for my clients, from the exercises to what I say. Because when you can get it from source, isn't that a heck of a lot better than just a mere human thinking it up? I think so. So today we will also channel on the intuition. So you'll have to be with me on that. Hey, Joe Fox. I know. I'm so glad you're on. This is a good one. So let's get started with this wonderful mystical muse, and let's talk about this a little bit. Now, the anxiety. Anxiety is based in fear. Okay? Simple as that. If you're living in anxiety, if you're allowing your mind to go crazy into the worry, doubt, and fear, and you feed it with all the stuff, all the alarming stuff in the world, or not problems, not really problem solving, but just shoving it down, and you just kind of live in this little bubble in your head that's all fear, then you can't hear your intuition. Your intuition comes in many ways, but if you're stuck in your head, you never get there. And let me tell you a little bit about when you live with your intuition before I even channel more about it. Intuition is actually the soul talking to you, your higher self. The highest part of you is talking to you, and it is telling you that either something isn't right, or it's telling you that you're taking a big step. It will totally act in your body in some way. But did you realize that your intuition is much more than that? It's the thought that comes into your head that you don't know where it comes from. Or maybe you hear that voice and know you're not schizophrenic. You're actually hearing spirit. And that's what you want. And you can even get where you can ask the question and hear it. Isn't that cool? But how do you do that? So we're going to talk a little bit about this. And I'm hoping a lot of people come on because this is a wonderful thing to learn. But I'm so glad. And Joe, I'm so glad you're here. Angular, I'm so glad you're here. And I think Angela's coming on. Yes. And that's cool. And we'll get some more. So intuition has been knocked down in our society for a very long time. We have always been taught to look outside ourselves. We are always looking for how other people. Hi there, Sci-Fi Mom B. Hey, welcome. I'm so glad you're on. We're always looking outside ourselves for the answers. What other people have created, what other people have done. We always go to the experts. And I don't know when this started, but we think everybody else is an expert. And haven't we been fooled by that in recent years? Isn't that interesting? Oh, thank you, Joe. I'm glad you love my content. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. So, and that's why society is where it's at right now, guys, because there's only so much we can learn by looking outside ourselves. No other culture in the history of the world, the Mayans, the Greeks, the early civilizations, were always looking into the intuition and to divinity for their ideas, even up into the Industrial Revolution. The people who even began that Industrial Revolution had the insight of bringing something new in. Where does new come from? It comes from a source within ourselves, our higher self, our soul, which is linked up. How do you describe the soul? What is the soul? The soul has part of itself in us, okay? But the soul is connected. It is big. It fills the universe. If you ever saw your soul, it would just blow your mind on how big it is. It is incredible. And it is linked, the highest part of your soul is divinity because it's connected. And that's what you want to draw upon for your ideas and your creativity. You don't want to draw upon what Joe Schmo over here. Sorry, Joe. I should have used another name. Samantha over there. You don't want to draw upon what Samantha is doing. You want to draw upon something that's original. And people who developed the industrial age, who had the industries, the big industries, who were inventing things, they were pulling from above, not what somebody else was doing. There was nobody else doing, right? But then somehow it just got lost. It just got lost. And the majority of people are always looking for somebody else to answer our questions, to help us to solve a problem. If you got a problem, got to go to a therapist. If something goes wrong in your house, you got to call somebody. You know, if you can't deal with relationships, you got to go see somebody. But none of us look inside. And it was always mocked as women's intuition, especially when I was growing up. That was kind of the thing. Oh, that's just women's intuition. I'd hear that all the time. And yet it's one of the most important things in the world. So I am going to channel, and I don't know how long this is going to be. This might be the shortest mystical muse we have, but I want to channel for you. And my counsel that guides me in everything is of the light. Okay. As a shamanic practitioner, I can connect, and I do connect and work mostly on the psychic level. I don't know if you know that. And that's why I channel for my clients and everything else, because most of the time I'm working, as I talk to you, I am still in the psychic level, listening and also communicating. Interesting, isn't it? So most people don't even realize it. So I am going to just take a minute and fully connect. All right, just a second. And then I'll channel for you what they tell you about intuition. May I? Are you here? Okay. All right, beautiful people. We are speaking through Elena. And we want to let you know, first of all, that you are a magnificent creation. You are everything that all the universes are looking to, because you are living in a world where you forgot who you were. And when you came here, you knew nothing about your origin. And yet, so many of you are now starting to ascend. So many of you are starting to look at yourself and saying, there is so much more in me. There is so much more I know and can trust. And we of the light want to applaud you. We want to tell you, keep going. The world needs you. Now, for those of you who are just beginning this journey, Elena has asked us to talk to you about intuition. In fact, she's been asking us for a whole night. So we are going to open up to you about your intuition. You, everyone, is a beautiful, beautiful soul. You have this body, but you are soul. Many of you have disconnected from your soul, and you have always known when you were young who you truly were. But schools and parents and this thing about conformity has brought you away from your soul. But your soul is right there within you. And this soul is a humongous soul. It is a soul that is connected to the whole universe, to every illusion, to every reality, and to the light itself. And the part that is in you is the part that has chosen to be in this lifetime, at this time, to do something magnificent and create something magnificent. So, why do you not look at your soul? Why are so many scared to listen to what we have to say through the soul? When you are in a situation, we try to alert you in any way that we can. If it is not serving you, you will feel parts of your body tighten. You will feel the hair on the back of your neck, as you so say, start to rise. These are all warning signs. Do not dismiss them, because we're telling you the route that you are taking is not for you. Back up, reassess, start another way of going that is smoother. And sometimes we see that when you get lost in your creativity, when you are creating something you really love, you will start to tap in to your soul naturally. You become the frequency of your soul. You will hear all the ideas and the thought processes, and you will act on them immediately because you are creating. But in everyday life, you lose it. You go back to what you were taught by others who knew nothing more than you did. More than any other time, we are asking you to begin to listen. We are asking you to get quiet. It is not hard. You just have to open your belief system. You have to get past what you have been told and think to yourself, anything is possible. When you get quiet and really quiet, Elena always says to get the breath down into the abdomen and allow it to fill the body with oxygen. She is not wrong, because when the body is satisfied, it can relax. And when you get into that relaxation, ask. May I talk to you? Are you there, soul? You may have to try a couple times before your mind will accept it, but you will hear, yes, I am here. And once you start connecting, then you can ask any question. And when you are fearful, you can ask that your soul be right with you and give you strength. You can ask for signs outside yourself, and you will be alert enough because your soul is alerted to see the signs and to interpret them correctly. By working with the highest part of you, you will find that you no more get caught up in the drama of this earth that isn't even worth it, but you will become the observer. You will become the person who sees above the drama, the fighting, the problems. And you will see how to build the bridges, which is why you are, as a soul, here on this planet now. But you really have to open up into your own intuition. You really have to start opening up to hearing the soul that is within you, because the soul knows why you're here. Now, in that soul, will you lose? We've heard this question. Will you lose your personality? No. Your higher self is still you. And the characteristics that you have in your laughter, what you find funny, who you are, is your essence and should be glorified because it is you. And your higher self is you. It just has wisdom because it is the higher self. And there are so many benefits, but yet we are so scared to do it. Why? Why? Once you become someone who hears their soul, you'll understand there's nothing to be scared of. In fact, it's everything to glorify. The creativity will be so much easier. The problem solving, well, it just happens. You never, ever have to worry. It's just getting past what you have learned. Are there any other questions that you have for us? There's a question, Fuan. What are some of the common myths? People were scared of intuition. Well, this has not always been the case. You do realize that. The Mayans, the people who are creators, the ones who were doing the art, the science, there was a time when everyone was in their intuition and understood who they were. They were spirit. But it's really funny. The more the technology started to come in, the more people wanted power over others. They had to dismiss the intuition. They had to cut off your connection to the light. Because if everybody is in that knowing, well, they cannot control you. They cannot get you onto what they want to create. They want a certain type of society. Who are they? They are the people that are the ones who have already learned this secret and they use it, but they won't allow you to. And so intuition was starting to be made fun of. And women in the time before the witch trials were very much in their intuition. They were connecting. They had gone against what all the dogmas were, and they were starting to connect. Why? Because they use that knowledge to heal people. They use the knowledge they were getting from their highest self to actually heal and understand the planet and the plants and the rituals that would help heal people, help women to have safer pregnancies. They knew all these. They were the healers of the community, and they were the ones who were burned because they knew that everything came from spirit. Why were the Indians taken away? They knew the same thing. They understood the biggest part of themselves, and they understood their relationship with Mother Gaia, the earth that you are on. They understood that everything was put there for their own survival. And it wasn't until people started to want to control other people. And this started early on. This started when the churches started. This started when people wanted to conquer lands. This started when people had to get other people unknowingly under their control to create and conquer what they wanted for the power. And that has been going on through your time for quite a while. But don't you see? Don't you see it's changing? Don't you see that all this control is starting to be unveiled? My beautiful friends, that's why it's so important for you to start to tap into your intuition, to start to listen, to find time in the day to be quiet. There is a question, Gujarati King. I hope. Did Elena ever have an experience, unexpected solution for anxiety? Yes. Elena had suffered from a little bit of anxiety. Yes. But a good thing about Elena, she learned early on to not sit in the anxiety, and how she stopped her own anxiety about something that was just that she should worry about because it was a problem. She instead got quiet and said, "Help me. Help me with this situation. What road should I choose? How do I get out of this situation?" And see, my friends, even your higher self cannot help you if you do not ask. She didn't say to her spirit, to her guides, to her spirit animals that are with her, she did not say, "Help me, just bring something in." She said, "Guide me out of it. Show me the way." And she was wise enough to see the way and to follow our voice and the path we showed her. That is intuition. And she never suffered with that anxiety again. Anxiety is fed to you. It's really been fed to you by situations in your economics, by situations in the news to create an audience, I guess, to get you into control and understand you cannot survive without all these things they're creating for you. So it's up to you to connect and believe and follow your intuition. Yes, yes, it has given Elena a new perspective about anxiety. Anxiety comes from not having the belief in ourselves and our spirit. We feel there's no way out. And it is a part of us that's been taught that way. My gosh, don't you all remember when you were in school and there was only one right answer? Don't you remember how often you were told you were not right or that you couldn't do it that way? Don't you understand that that is teaching you that you have to conform and think the way that you you go only one way? One way. You cannot divert into your own way, your own belief, what your soul was destined to think and do and act and know why it's here. But that is not correct. You must believe this and do this. That creates insecurity in you. You cannot trust your intuition. You have to trust what the right answer is. Do you see how it's starting to foster? It's really funny. Elena has just brought up, and we will bring it forward. She's allowing us to share this. When she was in 3rd grade, she had a form of dyslexia, and she could not add and do the math because her mind just would not focus. And that was part of her growing. We told her because she was connected to hum. We said, just hum. And she listened and she started to hum. And it kept her focus so that she could add and see the numbers and keep her attention on those numbers. And she was doing really well. But then her teacher said, you cannot hum no matter how quiet, because that's not what we do. And so Elena had to forego the wisdom she knew that helped her so much in her studies and in her life and conform and do it the way they say. Do you see how that could set up an insecurity in the belief in yourself and your inner knowing and your intuition with that one example? And we have lived through that most of our lives. And that is what gives us anxiety, because we have nothing as a people to grab on. We have nothing. And spirit, we can show you the way, but you have to learn how to listen again. You have to learn how to feel again. Intuition is very reliable for anxiety, but you cannot begin to trust your intuition while you suffer with anxiety, because fear and wisdom and love do not coexist. Fear is a bubble. It's a biological function of your body for safety. And it puts a different twist on your decision making. When you're first learning about your intuition, you have to strengthen your ability to hear before you can put it to cure your anxiety or to even get rid of it, which, of course, you are spirit, you can get rid of it. But you have to strengthen your belief that it's real. You have to be able to open up and really listen to it. I think there are three ways. Yes, the whole council feels there's three ways for you to start to develop your intuition. We've said it over and over. You must get quiet. You must start to do your meditations in a slightly different way. Get yourselves quiet. Get your breath down. Nourish the body with the oxygen. Ask, may I connect with you? And when you do, then ask a question. You will hear, and please don't discount it. You will hear yes. And ask, and if you don't, ask again. It's a very light voice at first because you are not used to hearing it. But when you hear it, then you may begin to talk in your mind. Do you understand that everything on this planet first happens in spiritual? Do you not understand that? And that any problem you have can be solved in the spiritual and brought down into this planet because you are a spiritual being. It's that simple, really. So when you start connecting, believe. Hear that small voice, and you will know the difference. And this we have found to be so important. There is a difference between that critical mind, or what you call the critical mind, we call a trained mind. Between that trained mind and us, our voice, your highest self. You will never hear anything but love from us because we love you so much. But you will hear criticism. You will hear, I can't, I can't, I can't, from what you've been trained to think and hear. So that is the difference. And it is softer because you don't hear it more. And throughout your day, say, are you here, soul? Test your hearing. The more you ask and the more you will start to believe, the more you will open. The second, creativity. Oh, my dear ones, that's why you are here. You are here to create an experience and find your way home. Creativity Creativity is the great thinkers, it's the poets, the musicians, the artists, the scientists, the ones who do the inventors, the people who look for something that's not here yet. They are tapping into their intuition and into their soul. And the more that you find yourself creating, do you realize that Elena is constantly creating? In fact, I don't think we could stop her. She creates all the time in everything she does because she knows as she creates, she is connected and new ideas come flooding in. That's where your mind can free itself. That's where your mind starts to say, I want to do something different. And that's where you can start to receive the messages we give you. So, creation. And it's also a great way to start to deal and solve anxiety. Creation, making things that to build knowledge and confidence in you. So start creating things, anything. Bake bread, paint something, stick a plant in the ground, do whatever it takes to just start creating something. And it doesn't have to be a magnificent piece, it has to be yours. That's what makes it special. It's yours. Creation. Number 3, listen. Listen to your body. Look around you, outside. Look around at the trees. Listen. Listen to any messages that come into you. If you are in any sort of situation where your body doesn't feel quite right, don't ignore it. Listen to it. And then get quiet and ask, why? And we will tell you. We will have your ear. This is how. This builds confidence. This builds a wisdom. And this is the thing. The more you build it, that trust, that opening, you will begin to open. You will have confidence in the person that you truly are. You won't allow yourself to act like what you're supposed to act like. You will become who you are. You will have the laughter that lights up the room. You will have the song in your heart that people want to listen to, because you are becoming your higher self. You will celebrate the peace, the happiness, the confidence, the strength, and the knowing. That's why you were put on this earth. Intuition, the question is asked, and that is a very good question. How do you tell your intuition from your trained mind, anxiety? How do you tell? I had mentioned it earlier. Elena has mentioned it. I will say again. We will never, ever criticize you. We will never, ever say you can't do. We will never, ever say it's impossible. We will say, let's try this. We will say, you can do it. We will say, that is the greatest road for you. Do you see the difference? And it's in love. And if we feel you are going down the wrong road, we won't say, don't do that. We will say, there is something else over here. Let us help you. I hope that helps you with that question. And thoughts, everything comes in as a thought. But it is funny, when we first started to channel through Elena, which took a while, she was not excited about it at first. She was teaching a class through the court system. And although she had it all written out, her highest self, her soul, could see the pain in the room and knew that what she was teaching was right, but it wasn't enough. So we started interjecting these loving thoughts through her mind. And she was so into everything and so into a zone that it just came out of her. And that's the first time she channeled. And she began to like it because she saw how much spirit was able to help change lives faster than the factual things she was learning outside of spirit. And that's when she decided it was okay. So I hope that that has helped you. Are there any other questions? How many of you out there are listening to your spirit? How many of you are healing so that you can hear that spirit of you that's so incredibly big? That you can hear us in every day of your life? How many of you are feeling comfortable with who you are in this life? Have a look. Yes, there are those 3 exercises. We, all of us have said. The exercises of the meditation, the exercises of talking and listening for the hearing, strengthening that muscle, the creativity, all of this. How many of you have heard someone talk out of character to give you a message? Do you realize that person who would never have said that, but while they're talking to you, they just start blouting out something? That's us. Or when you're in the car and you decide to turn on the radio and the song is answering a question that you have had but didn't directly ask us, that's us. We will try to meet you in any way that we can. And your higher self is trying to always talk to you, always. It's time for you to start opening. It's time. We need you. You need you. It is time for people to bridge the gaps that are being made in this world right now. And the only way you can do that is to tap into your intuition and throw that anxiety out the window. Believe in yourself. You are spirit. You are us. It's time for all that other crap to go. Excuse me. All right. We're going to get quiet. Okay. Hi, everyone. So, this is what it is to channel. And this was, thank you. Thank you, Council. I think they have given you incredible things. I do hope that I'm so glad I'm going to try to catch up with people. Hi, is intuition reliable for anxiety management? Yes. Because as they said, it is going to help you to see who you are, to trust. Oh my gosh. The Mayans were way ahead of their time. Okay. Egypt was way ahead of their time. The pyramids that they built were for healing. I mean, the things that people have gotten from their so called intuition and their connection with divinity was what brought innovation into this world. What made um, all the new advances? And if you talk to anyone who was inventing something, if you read about them, they'll say, I just know. I just know, right? Okay, so they just knew. Where was that coming from? That was coming from the intuition or divinity. I like to say divinity because it's high. It's high and it's of the light. Okay. So the more you strengthen that listening, there is nothing to worry about. Now, if you have gotten into anxiety so much, and I know Spirit did not talk about this, you can go into adrenal fatigue. When you go into adrenal fatigue, that means your adrenal gland is shooting off for no reason. But you can still start to calm that down. Number one, if you know that, such as you wake up in the morning and all of a sudden you have anxiety and you don't even know why because you had a really nice little dream. What in the heck is this? That is adrenal fatigue. And what you have to do is then employ the breathing, the I love to get the breathing. If you can get it down into your abdomen and just relax the shoulders, just for some reason with me, if I say relax my shoulders, relax, and I get it just more and more and more, my whole body starts to go relax. You'll have to find where that is in your body and just relax it and get yourself out of that. And as you do that, you can actually counteract that adrenal fatigue really greatly. It's really important. Yes. And I hope that helps. That was by Crystal Square. Hey, I would love to know for those who are on right now, how many of you could you put a thumbs up if you like the channeling? I was talking to a friend of mine and I said, I channel everything for my clients. I channel for my email list. I channel, but I've never really done it on a live. And I thought maybe I would try this because they do explain it a lot better than I do. And I would love to see if there's a thumbs up. Is anybody putting a thumbs up? You don't like it? You do like it? I don't know. If you like it, I'll do it more. Tips for those who are just starting out to use their intuition against anxiety. Sure, this is Humsey. Hey, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Humsey asked that. Yeah, with that, what the spirit said is they're right. You have to build that muscle. Well, of course they're right, right? That you have to build the muscle of listening, and you have to trust. Now sometimes people don't hear a voice. They didn't say that. Sometimes they don't hear a voice. Some people are visual and they'll see things and they'll say what, or they'll get a vision of something, a picture of something in their thoughts. Trust it. Or they will see colors, but the colors have a feeling, and that feeling will wash over you. Allow it to wash over you, because you will have, all of a sudden the thought process will come in with the acceptance of the feeling of the color. So however you get it, it's just you have to build by belief, by saying this is true, I do hear you, and allowing it to wash over you in any way that it's supposed to wash over you. And yeah, and for people with anxiety, that washing over the feeling is incredible, you know, but it's going to come however you will accept. Yeah. Okay. And then I hope that helped you, Humsey. You know, if you guys have further questions on that, you can DM me on, on any platform. I mean, all of them have DMs, right? You can go to elenachapman.com. There's a place where you can ask questions, comments. I always get those. I always respond, you know? Aloha, Sevinger. Okay, cool. All right. Do we have any thumbs? Really? Did you like this or not, guys? That's what I want to know. So if you are on here and you love it, or you love the channeling, or want more channeling, make sure you let me know somehow, okay? Because this is new for me. And it's new for me to get it out here. And I know that Spirit was telling you it was even hard for them to do this with me at first. I'm so stubborn sometimes. Ah, hi, Elena. Did you ever get confused between intuition and anxiety? No, because they're so incredibly different, you know? And it's really funny. Manny, that's a good question. How I know it's intuition, it's always loving. It's always giving me a result. Um, and it always relaxes my body when I hear it. Where I hear anxiety, it's this constant problem. It's the constant, but I can't. This is too big. This is too, I don't know what to do. It's too big, and I'm this little, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Totally different. Totally different. I've never gotten confused. And I'll tell you, I do know that sometimes I've walked into some rooms and all of a sudden I will get this incredible tightness in my gut. And for me, that's intuition. And I'll know. Now, does that mean I run and hide? No, that's not what it's about. It's saying, Elena, you're entering into a situation that's foreign to you. Or Elena, you're entering into a situation that's not for your best good. Proceed gently, proceed with opening, listen to us as you do it. And I will step out of the room, step out of where I'm going, and I will connect and I will say, guide me through this. I must go into that room. Can you guide me through this? And they will. That's how you use it. I don't get anxiety because I can't go into the room. Do you see the difference? I hope you see the difference. All right. Okay. So I think I've answered. Okay, this one, oh darn it. Do intuition anxiety relate to creativity? Not anxiety, no. Anxiety is perfection. Oh, are people going to accept this? Oh, are people going to, is this perfect, perfect, perfect? No, actually, anxiety can ruin creativity. Okay? Because it's not enough. It's not, you're not connected. You're more worried about, is this going to be good for someone else? Okay. Rockstar Sundar, I answered yours. I think I got everyone's. If you have any more questions, please look at any DM, look at elenachapman.com, myname.com, and just write in those comments on the website. Also, if you want to get hold of me, I think there's somebody right here in this wonderful thing, Veronica. You can get in touch with her or text her. And Maria, needed, I believe. Maria, thank you. Sci-Fi Mommy, thank you for all the thumbs up. All right. Yeah, and Han, I'll probably, when you do the classes, those will be channeled, just so you know. And there's a big giant hand from Veronica. So all of you, I thank you. I will be doing, it only took one person. I will be doing more channeling. And I do hope this helps you. If you are suffering, oh, any personal stories where intuition helped you out with anxiety? Real horror stories. Ooh, I bet you have a fascinating channel. Yes. I think they told you one. Oh God. Yeah, and I told you the one. Yeah, there was one time when I had really bad anxiety about a decision I had made that was going really south. And that gave me horrid anxiety. And when I stood up to say to people that this was a mistake, this was not the decision, this is not helping me, I was jeered. I was like, "Oh, Elena." They used my stuff against me. That's what they did. "Oh, Elena, you got a problem with money," when I really don't. And Elena, you're limiting thinking and all this stuff. They I was so angry. So then I I wasn't at I got it actually caused, guys, it actually caused me to not listen to my intuition all of a sudden. And because I was just thrown for a loop, and that wasn't like me, you know? And everyone was saying, This is what it's gonna take. This is what it's gonna take to get this and get more clients." And I was hearing my intuition saying, "They're leading you astray. They're leading you astray. This is not how to do it." And yet they were so loud, but it was throwing my whole system into this chaotic mess. You know what I mean? I wasn't listening fully. I knew that they were wrong, but yet I couldn't seem to leave it. And it put me into this weird, yeah, it was anxiety. It was awful. I was not happy. I lost my confidence for a little bit. And then one morning I woke up and I said, "Spirit, okay, I'm done. I'm listening to you." And I just went right into spirit, my higher self, and I never looked back. And then I told everyone, "Get out of my life." I did. I said, "You're done. You're gone. I don't want to see you. You're done." And that's how I solved that problem. But I had to make a decision. And when you're dealing with your anxiety, it's going to come to that point. You're going to feel sorry, but you are going to feel that tear, because you're going to hear it so loud out here. It's not only in your mind, it's the people you're associating with, it's the people who enable you in it, the people who, everything, the drugs they put you on, it's all that crap, right? Yeah. So you're going to feel torn, but you have to make the decision. You know, you know. And I really do think anxiety is that. It's that constant. It's that constant pull. Yeah. So work on now strengthening that intuition so that when that time comes, you'll finally say, "I choose spirit. I choose spirit. I choose the guidance. I choose listening. You know, I choose invention. I choose creativity. I choose the glory. I choose the happiness. I choose the peace." Okay. That's what you have to do. All right, guys. I love you all. I hope this helped. Reach out. Have a beautiful day. We will do this again on Wednesday next week. I don't know what it's going to be. If you have a topic you want to talk about, by the way, I really should mention this. Tell me. Tell me. And if it's in the spiritual vein, and it can be fun, it can be whatever. Please tell me. I'd be so happy to share with you. All right. Love you all. Please subscribe, get notified so that so that you can be on here. And you are all wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Your questions were incredible. And thank you for participating in the channeling because you got more out of it because of it. All right. Have an awesome, wonderful day. Bye-bye and namaste. Namaste to all of you. Bye-bye.